So, I'm Evgenia, journalist in newspaper Kathimerini, and we are about to delve into a critical discussion, the transformative role of AI in banking, and its impact on sustainable finance and digital transformation. I have to say that while the shift to digital channels for the vast majority of transactions is a notable achievement in the recent years here in Greece, and artificial neurons is familiar technology for the banks since the 90s. I think so, maybe. You're going to tell us. So, but Gen AI represents a far more profound evolution. So, I'm delighted to introduce my panelists, starting with Mr. George Marinos, Assistant General Manager, Innovation and Digital Partnership in NBG. Haris Margaritis, Group Chief Operation Officer in Piraeus Bank, hello, and Haris Tsavdaris, Chief Technology Officer, PwC Technology Practice. This is Haris number 1, Haris number 2. So, welcome and thank you very much for being with us. So, having said that, my first question, and I would like to introduce to you, Haris number 1. It's about the stage of AI in the banking sector, the stage of AI in the banking sector. To what extent do they have applied?
First of all, thanks for the invitation. I would say very briefly that the stage of the adoption of AI in the banking sector is at the infantile stages of AI. The AI adoption globally is at the infantile stages, so it couldn't be different in the Greek banks.
Greece.
What we have seen so far is basically the use of the AI in some cases for the better serving of the customers, the usual chatbots where they automate things or you may ask questions and this kind of things. And things are a bit more advanced when it comes to the internal processes where they're starting investigating and using the generative AI in order to optimize and execute more efficiently their internal processes. A typical user of the AI is, of course, the IT organizations of the banks. Usually, this is the first organization that they adopt the AI. But what we are liking right now is the second stage of the AI when it comes to use the AI to execute things, to have agents, to automate things much more efficiently.
For the customers, I suppose. George, do you agree? Are we in the early stage of adopting AI here in Greece?
Yes, at a high level, I agree. I mean, there are a few applied cases of AI. For example, I can talk about NBG, and we use traditional, let's say, AI in areas of document processing. You know, banks are organizations built on top of papers. So if you go to the paperless direction, you have somehow find a way to process the documents, to extract data, to recognize, classify, archive, etc. And AI is a critical tool for this kind of processes. There are other areas like security, fraud control. We try to monitor our systems, keep them secure, and protect them from attacks. AI is critical today for this kind of operations. We monitor transactions of our customers to reduce the fraud and try to prevent fraudulent transactions. We use biometrics in various cases. All these are examples, are use cases of traditional AI, of traditional machine learning. Regarding the generative AI, you are right. Today, we are testing the waters, actually. We spread inside the organization generative AI tools like Copilot or other tools. We try to build chat capabilities on top of our knowledge bases, on top of our document collections to accelerate the access and information retrieval from these data sets. We try to use AI generative AI in areas like decision-making, trying to, let's say, triage the cases and routing the simpler cases to more junior staff and junior teams and keep only the more complex and more special cases for senior teams. And of course, there is an area which is my favorite area, which is the software engineering. We try to use generative AI to automate the process of software engineering in the bank. It is very important for us. Actually, banks today are huge software houses. Mm-hmm. We produce a lot of software components, elements, application systems, etc. And generative AI, it is optimized. Today, it is optimized in this area. It is capable of, today there is the technology needed to automate the software engineering process. It is a matter of adoption, mostly, not so much a lack of technology. So I'm very excited about that. Sorry.
Okay, I can see that. So, Mr. Margaritis, how close are we to see examples of entirely new products produced by AI? And I would like to explain us, what does it mean when we say new products, generative AI-based? What does it mean for the client? I mean,
may I also offer what we are doing and how we see the opportunity that this new magic presents to us? And we feel very, very bullish about it. And I agree that we're still at the very early stages, but I think this infant is going to grow really fast. And this is why we, at Piraeus, we have created a strategy that aspires to bring almost 100 million in total benefits annualized after implementing the almost 80 cases that we have identified. And this, of course, is with traditional AI, predictive models, and generative AI together. We've seen the benefits, and we're already reaping some benefits from the use of generative AI. For example, we have replaced our chatbot with the ChatGPT, and immediately we saw that customers started using it much more. They were much happier, much more satisfied with the responses they were getting.
Yes, the old chatbot was a black box in the beginning when they...
The old chatbot was, you could tell you were speaking, you were asking questions to a list of things. So it would try to identify which item of this list are you asking about and give you a ready-made answer. So this new technology makes it much more human-like, the interaction.
They are more interactive?
They're much more interactive, much more engaging. So, and this is something we are also planning to expand. For now, you can only ask things. Very soon, I think you will ask it to do things for you, like pay an account, pay a bill, or do a transfer that you did last time, or ask it to generate some insights about your spending. So I think we'll see more and more about how this will be used, and this will change the experience, obviously. And I think based on that, the change of experience, new products and new propositions will be designed. This is something we're also working on. So we are creating, with the use of generative AI, we are creating tools for our salespeople, for our relationship managers, to make better propositions to our customers. Mm-hmm. So we're creating a tool, for instance, that will gather market data, product data, customer-specific data, and create a script that, together with a proposed product that is generated with the use of traditional predictive models, will create a ready-made script for the relationship manager to go to the customer and propose that this is suitable for your needs, and not just your current needs, but maybe your future needs as well. Because with the use of these models, we can predict what the future needs of the customers might be like. So, all in all, I think we're very excited about the opportunities that lie ahead. And this is why we're also investing quite significantly.
Yes, you have announced a big program, about 200
Million.
200 million euros
In the
recently,
next
and you as
three
well
years,
in NBG.
yes.
I think this is the proportion of every bank now in Greece, about 200 million euros. So, okay, they can do all these things, but you gave me the path to go to our next question, which is what about ethical considerations? And it is well known that the banking system and the financial system in Europe is maybe over-regulated. So how AI adoption is compatible with the regulations?
The AI regulation is mandated by the AI Act. There was also a previous very minor but important mandate in the GDPR. It's the lawyers of the audience, they know very well the Article 22, which prohibits the automatic processing of personal data. So there is a certain thing, very specific, that AI cannot do, is not allowed to do. Now, what comes to the AI Act?
Like what?
Sorry?
Like what? What certain thing?
Profiling is specifically mentioned that if, for example, you want to give a loan and you have the data, and you would like to do an automated profiling, this is prohibited. You cannot do it. It's not legally, it's not allowed.
Okay. But the banks can do it.
Yeah, but with the final approval of a natural person.
Okay.
It's not fully automated.
So we need the interaction of an AI agent and a banker.
At the final stage, there must be a human which will approve whatever the AI says. And most of the times, if not all the times, usually the human will approve what the AI says because they don't go into the burden to check all the data.
I think that applies if you cannot explain why you are accepting with a clear set of rules.
Well, the AI, this is another topic, the explainability of the AI. There is a lot of research on this particular field, but so far the AI, what we call the generative AI, or the modern AI, is much more like a black box rather than an AI which will explain. It's on the state of the art of research. It's part of the academia discussion. Now, the AI Act is a risk-based approach. It's a law and sets all the processes for the risk assessment of all the AI project.
Okay.
What is important to say is that the study that the AI Act foresees, it's a very heavy name. They call it FRIA, if you know the DPIA, Data Protection Impact Assessment. For the AI Act is FRIA, which means Foundational Rights Impact Assessment. So we examine the impact of AI on the foundational rights.
So the regulation is a drawback, a limitation, or maybe a tool for more comprehensive AI adoption for the banks?
I mean, regulation exists to protect society and make sure that risks are properly managed. I think but the banking sector, due to the crisis as well, is at the phase now that is very, very highly regulated. There's a lot of scrutiny in every aspect, and rightly so. You see new mandates like the Digital Operational Resilience Act, ARDAR, how good are the data you are using to report your risk metrics, and many more. AI Act is also coming. So I think and a lot of the bank's effort and investments are directed towards addressing those regulatory mandates. But they are there to protect customers. They are there to protect the economy, and I think it's a right thing to do.
Yes,
Please, George. Yes.
Yes, I would like to add that, generative AI is actually the most advanced technology we have ever made. It is the most intelligent and the most capable tool we have ever made. And at the same time, it is the most easily accessible. I mean, if you have access to internet and if you have access to, you can read and you can write, you have access to these tools. It is the most accessible technology we have ever made. And it is also the faster growing technology we have ever made. I mean that every week there is a different model, there are new papers, there are new ideas, how you can use it, how you can build things on top of this technology, etc., etc. We expect, and I believe that it is right, to be heavily regulated. Otherwise, it will be a very...
A jungle.
Yes.
I suppose, yes. Okay.
Society has gone through such major phases in the past. There was nuclear energy, there was CRISPR, the gene editing, there was internet used for everything. So society knows what it needs to do, assuming people are in the right minds and not sending bombs across the continents. They know what to do to protect society. So I think we will reach a phase where the tool will be used to generate growth. It will use to liberate human creativity, because that's what technology does. That's what it's always been doing.
Okay, please, Harris,
Yeah.
you want to add something?
I would like to comment that, because the debate is that it's a global game. It's not only Europe. So Europe is a small cocoon for some things, but for other things, this model might not work that well. So the real question is, what will happen when you compete with other countries or regions that do not have this kind of regulations? And they are freely to exploit the capabilities of AI without limitations, like the one that I mentioned before.
But the regulation is about the usage patterns. It is about the use cases. It is not about the technology development. The EU AI Act protects us from manipulating people through AI. That's it. It is not about developing further the technology. We can develop the technology. We cannot use it in our societies to harm and manipulate people. And
Does China have a similar regulation framework, let's say?
I don't think they do. They have a regulation framework in China. They can do whatever they want.
I got it.
And a KPI, if you want to compare Europe with China, is the time to market, which is faster. Europe, a European bank, with all these regulations and all these processes, compliance, or a Chinese bank, where they just fire an AI system and maybe they don't ask. I don't know.
Okay, me either. So let's move to the next topic, which is the concerns about the impact of AI on employment on the banking sector. Maybe the right question is not if it's going to have impact. The right question maybe it is if you have time to get people ready for this. So who wants to go?
That's a hard one. Because the reality is that change is never easy. So, and this change is happening so fast, at such a pace, that we were discussing how do you make people digitally savvy so that they can function in this new brave world where everything you can do it from your smartphone, or and then COVID came and that this was accelerated. So now you're in front of something completely different, that you might be asking your phone to to do something complete for you, like stock your fridge, go order groceries, take care of your investments, pay your bills. So it's something that some people will understand how to use and they will gain an advantage, and some people will struggle. That's what always happens. And I think it's a responsibility for society and for large institutions such as us, such as banks, to educate not just their staff, and which is also a challenge because we need to educate our people how to use those tools. For another example, we are using Microsoft Copilot, as I think most of us are. Microsoft Copilot is a tool where you practically get ChatGPT within the Microsoft's set of tools like Teams or Outlook, PowerPoint, etc. And we've seen cases where people using it get amazing results. Their productivity is maybe 30%, increased by 30%. And other cases where they are just wasting time. They can't understand it, they can't use it. So there is a divide. And we need to create training programs, upskilling programs to help everyone understand the capabilities and be able to use this technology. It requires a planning and effort. There's no magic wand about this.
George, yes.
I agree, and I want to add the following. I don't know if you have ever used the OpenAI's deep research tool or the Google's Notebook LM tool. It is something amazing. I mean, it is like if you suddenly have superpowers. It is like you have a team of dedicated researchers or a team of colleagues working for you, and you get the result that normally needs 1 week or whatever in a few minutes. And this is something very, very impressive. But what is the difference? The difference is that the tools we had so far available was fine-tuned to produce specific results. So I have the Microsoft Word or the Microsoft Excel. I can produce specific results using this tool, and is required by me to know exactly how to guide the tool to do something. These new tools are totally different. They can produce almost everything. They can do whatever we ask them to do, but it is not so clear how we have to ask them to do something. It is easier sometimes because it is the natural language, it is a free format. We don't have to follow specific guidelines, specific, I don't know, APIs, instructions, etc., but it is also at the same time ambiguous. We have to experiment, we have to try to play with them, and we have to find a way to use them. And it is very important to educate people, to find a way to train people how to use this kind of tools. We believe that today we have the technology needed to achieve amazing results. We need to convince people to use it and make for them easy and comfortable to use this kind of tools. So it's a matter of education, mostly, I believe. And
you remember when everyone a few years back was doing hackathons?
Yes.
Now they're doing promptathons. That's the new...
you know, this is very interesting. It is very interesting that today, if we organize a hackathon, it is feasible for a small team to come and produce a real product in 2 days.
Absolutely.
While a few years ago, it was impossible.
But that's the problem, because the problem is it's not for the tellers, let's say, they don't exist anymore anyway, but it's for the programmers and the developer as well. If an AI can produce a code.
Not just programmers, that's interesting, because I think this technology also blurs the line between a technology savvy person and with someone with a business acumen. So the person who's ideally placed to leverage this is at the in between. So he doesn't need to be a hardcore technologist nor an inspired business leader. If he understands both aspects, he can yield amazing results.
It is the scientific thinking and the problem-solving direction.
Okay. So,
I just want to share two
yes,
things
please.
regarding the impact of AI. About some months ago, we had a private, let's say, session with the OpenAI in the US, and they told us that the most innovative usage of the chatbot is done by kids and students, obviously, the most smart, let's say, prompts, the first. And the second, in the future, our kids almost certainly will have an affair with an AI partner, let's say. And the key to this relationship is the compassion that the AI agent will demonstrate.
Okay, you tell me. So we have only 3 minutes. I would like a quick answer, please, by the three of you. Can we describe, to have an idea, how will be the bank in the future? I mean, if I can have my own AI agent and my AI tool and advise me how to invest, what kind of loans suits me, and whatever. Why do I need a bank? I mean, I need a bank for the money, but I don't need the bank to advise me. So, how will be the bank in the future? Can you?
Well, the bank is much more than a simple, let's say, agent. Let's say it has a function. It has the money. The money is important. Somebody has the process to save the money. So yes, we will automate all these things, but I think that the banks will continue to exist. The next step on the AI, how we will envision, is what we say the agentic AI or the action-based AI, where they will proactively take actions on our behalf for the best, for our best interest.
Haris?
Yeah, I think hopefully until I retire, there will still be banks, even longer. As Harry said, I mean, banks are there to support the economy, and of course, their primary responsibility is the financial well-being of their customers, be either the retail or corporate customers. I think for retail customers, what is changing already and will change much more is the type of interactions that you're having. People will want to have with their bank. Today, you go to your bank for trivial things, payments, opening accounts, buying investments. I think in the future, you will only interact with the bank, with a human from the bank, because people will still need, there will still always be a need for human interaction whenever you feel that you want a specific advice for something important in your life. Either making an important decision about your business, or getting married and looking for a house, or planning your retirement, planning the future of your newborn child. These are the things you would like to discuss with a human, we believe. And
I'm not sure.
You're not so sure. Okay.
George, last questions. Could you believe that the use of AI could expand credit?
Expand?
Credit to the consumer?
Yes. Okay, I will try to say that, bank is, regarding the previous question, bank is very critical to whatever technology we deploy to consumers, and whatever tools create for the consumers, because we provide the data. We have the data needed for all the technology to be built on top of that, and we are let's say, the connection point between the networks, the financial networks inside and outside the country that make feasible the transactions, the loans, the whatever. Of course, while the technology is progressing, while the access to the networks, the financial means, the transaction systems became easier and easier, this will expand also the financial activity of people, and this will expand also their capability to get money or to build on top of financial, yes.
You have a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mr. Marinos, Mr. Margaritis, and Mr. Tsavdaris. Thank you very much for being with us.